All right, so boom. Imhotep wasn't just a man, feel me? Nor a villain from classic mummy movies, nor a colloquial term for annoyingly woke black man. He was the definition of brilliance. Don't let Hollyweird be your main source of information, my niggas. Word. Yeah, that man had knowledge beyond knowing the ledge. Feel me? Born in ancient Kemet around 2600 BCE, this brother was a polymath long before the term even existed. As an architect, priest, physician, and philosopher, Imhotep designed the step pyramid of Dosher. Mr. Imhotep was revolutionizing architecture for a millennia, bruv. This genius wasn't limited to just stone, however. Nah, son. He was also a healer. He was a grand master of medicine and the layer downer of principles that became the foundation of the medical field as we know it today. Imhotep was so brolic with it that after his death, he was deified and worshipped as a god. Like, as a god, my niggas. Think about that. This man transcended mortality to become a symbol of divine knowledge, living proof that humans can achieve godhood through wisdom and service to Ma'at. Kind of like that one pale-faced so-called savior that the Romans came up with. Sorry, I digressed. All hail the great black goddess, Brolicus F be thy name. The gnosis has begun. To understand Imhotep, you gotta understand Ma'at, which I'm pretty sure I covered already, but just in case you missed class, check this video out. In a newt shell, see what I did there, Brohamsky? Ma'at is the moral and cosmic force governing the Kemetic world. Truth, order, balance, justice, and all that other righteous-ish are her domain. Imhotep embodied these principles by blending intellect with humility, using his talents not just for personal gain, but for the upliftment of society. Again, this should be sounding pretty effing Christ-like, but way before Christ. Get that, a black Christ-like figure before Christ. Fun fact, before Christ is what BC used to stand for. Now we say BCE, before Common Era. History is a lie and time is a construct. Moving on. When the Greeks later studied in Egypt, as they called it, they marveled at the depth of knowledge found within the temples and libraries. Figures like Hippocrates, and it's right there in the effing name, the so-called father of medicine, owes his whole entire flow to Imhotep's discoveries. But here's the thing. While Ma'at was foundational to the Kemites, i.e. African worldview, the Greeks didn't have the proper respect put on her name. They respected the idea of living in harmony with natural laws, but the Greek remix was incomplete. They didn't always carry over the spiritual depth, just the knowledge stripped from its source. Shaking my head, as a GD colonizer would. Here goes some more knowledge for your head tops, bruv. Now here's where it gets wild AF. Again, I guess. The Western world has taken all of Imhotep's contributions and flipped the narrative. While his legacy as the first great physician lives through the works attributed to Hippocrates, the credit rarely makes it back to Kemet. And if that wasn't enough, look at how modern media has treated the name Hotep. Hollywood turned him into a villain, a monster from the Mummy franchise, and we constantly make fun of black men that try to spit knowledge on our head tops and call them Hoteps. Think about that for a second. A man whose name once stood for learning, healing, and wisdom is now associated with fear, curses, evil, and not really knowing what the ish you're talking about. This is not just coincidence. It's a part of a larger effort by white supremacy to demonize powerful black figures and suppress the idea of black godhood. If they keep black men from recognizing that they are capable of greatness, of embodying divine principles like Imhotep did, they maintain control. The erasure and distortion of Imhotep's legacy are deliberate. A figure like Imhotep challenges the narrative of Western superiority by proving that advanced science, medicine, and architecture were pioneered by an African, I repeat, African civilization. If the world were to fully acknowledge that the blueprint for so many modern achievements, architecture, medicine, philosophy, was laid by an African, again, African polymath, it would inspire generations of African and African American men to recognize their own potential for greatness. And that's the very thing white supremacy fears. Black men tapping into their divine potential and rising into godhood, just like Imhotep did. The lesson from Imhotep's life is this: your mind is your power, and your spirit is your God. Imhotep shows us that the key to ascension is living in harmony with Ma'at, using knowledge not just to advance yourself, but to serve others and uplift your community. The media might try to demonize the name Imhotep, but those who know the truth recognize his divine genius. His story isn't just ancient history. It's a blueprint for how we can all move forward today. To ascend like Imhotep, you have to master your craft, live with integrity, and walk in truth. Don't let anyone tell you that divinity is out of reach. The ancestors already showed us the way. The question is, are you ready to step into your greatness, into your divinity? Hotep, my negus.
Peace, Nubian. Now you have gnosis.
Like Greeks in Egypt learning something deep from their teachers.